Oh, how long are we playing?
About 2 hours. Welcome to Council of Four. um, we are playing Marvel Heroic Roleplaying, Council of Four. Look at that shiny glossy. Um, Tonight we have Cassie playing Scarlet Witch, and Chris playing Black Panther, and Craig playing Havoc, and Kari playing Captain Marvel, and Phil playing Doctor Strange. And I will be your dungeon master. I'm the watcher. But to start things off, I guess I'll give a little background information to what is going on in the world right now. So most recently, the Avengers and X-Men had a falling out of the most epic proportions. The Phoenix Force was coming back to Earth. Of course, everyone was super nervous about it because the Phoenix Force is always blowing stuff up. So the Avengers wanted to destroy the Phoenix Force and get rid of it. The X-Men wanted to use it to repopulate the mutant population, since a lot of them are gone now due to somebody. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't know if this chat is live, but this might make for some interesting stuff that's going on while people are watching. So the Phoenix Force is coming. X-Men want to use it. Avengers want to get rid of it. But the Phoenix Force arrives. Everything goes horribly awry, and 5 of the X-Men get the Phoenix Force. So it's split up between 5 people, and these X-Men use the Phoenix Force to enslave the world, take over it, and so we have the Avengers versus X-Men war. The war kind of ended with everyone being like, X-Men, or mutants and humans alike, being, yeah, the Phoenix Force isn't such a great thing, maybe we should get rid of this. So they all teamed up against the Phoenix Five, which were, I guess I should name who they were, Cyclops, Emma Frost, Colossus, Magic, Colossus' sister, and Namor, the Submariner. And so they teamed up against those 5 people. The climax of the battle, Cyclops gathered all of the Phoenix Force into himself, and Charles Xavier tried to stop him, and Cyclops ended up killing Charles Xavier. And then they finally defeated Cyclops, calmed him down, put him in jail, and that's pretty much where we are. It's been maybe a few months since the Phoenix Five were taken out. The world is still kind of reeling from it, trying to figure out what to do. Mutant distrust is at an all-time high, which is why Captain America formed the Uncanny Avengers, to foster relationships between mutants and humans alike. And so, we come to the start of our game, and this is going to start a little differently with the team being divided, because I love to split the party.
All the time.
Whatever you do, don't split the party.
Always split the party.
Fall down a giant well.
Yeah. Half of you are inside the jail, and the other is on top. No, that's the wrong event. So, to start off this event, let me get to where I'm supposed to be. Oh, by the way, I guess I should state that the Doom pool, which I dropped, is at 2d6.
Okay.
2d6 is pretty standard, and how the Doom pool works is if you're trying to do something that might fail, but you're not actively doing it against somebody, you roll against the Doom die. And I can add to the Doom pool, make things more hectic and dangerous for everyone. So, This event starts. This event starts with Shield contacting Captain Marvel, and if Captain America was here, they were going to contact Captain America. But they contact Captain Marvel. Say what?
Alas, he could not be here.
No, alas. But Shield contacts Captain Marvel and tells you that we need you to go to Texas. There's this small town, very small, a blip on the map, but it's gone completely dark. People are missing. No one has heard from anybody inside the town. All of our satellite footage is being scrambled into the town. And we've sent SHIELD agents, and they haven't returned. So we need boots on the ground, and we need a superhuman to get in there and deal with it. We're going to have a, you could call it a specialist. We'll meet you there. But we need you to get to Plains, Texas, which is the name of the town, and find out what is going on.
On it.
Maria Hill gives you the thumbs up. And so Captain Marvel loads up in the Quinjet and flies away to Plains, Texas.
Are we just omitting Captain America from the story?
For now.
Okay. Just checking.
Until he appears later. Ah, Cap, you were here the entire time.
You're
Yes.
here the whole time. Thank you so much.
And then, smash cut to New York City. The streets are bustling. We find T'Challa, formerly the Prince of Wakanda, now the Black Panther of the City of the Dead, Necropolis. He's come to New York to visit Reed Richards for some clandestine matters, we'll say. But he's decided to walk around New York, rub shoulders with the peasants, I guess. Because for a while he filled in. Yeah. For a while he filled in for Daredevil, and so he's found a love for this city, and he likes to take a walk sometimes. So you're on the street walking, very bustling. Someone rushes past you. You don't pay them much mind, but you keep walking. I think there's a little bit of an echo. But you keep walking. The Baxter Building is up ahead. You can almost see it. And all of a sudden, there's an explosion. You turn around, and you see this building is on fire. You recognize it as the Latvian embassy. And Latveria, as most of you know, is ruled by the villainous Dr. Doom. Wakanda and Latveria have had interactions in the past. So the Latvian embassy blowing up should interest Black Panther a little. And so while everyone's looking at the explosion, you slip into the alleyway and change into Black Panther, and you leap to action.
Okay.
Then another smash cut to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. This is the X-Men school renamed for Jean Grey. And Wolverine has invited Havoc and Scarlet Witch to tour the school. Since you are both part of the Uncanny Avengers, you're the face of human and mutant coexistence, Wolverine feels that you should come and get to know the mutant students. Unfortunately, Wolverine is not here. He's off battling some ninja clan somewhere else. And so Toad, the janitor, is giving you the tour of the school. And while the two of you are touring, you see the explosion in New York on the TV screen. You both stop and watch, and the explosion just happened, but already in the news feed you can hear the news anchors talking about mutant involvement in the explosion. As the face of human and mutant coexistence, you feel you need to be there. So, Havoc and Scarlet Witch, you ditch Toad, much to his chagrin. And you load up in a Quinjet and make post haste to New York.
I was going to borrow the X-Jet. Scott's not going to need it.
Yeah.
Does Toad have the keys?
Toad
They
has
trust
all.
Toad with the keys.
Toad has all.
No, Scott always leaves a spare in the visor.
Well, Scott is in jail. Well, actually, he's not in jail. He escaped from jail, and now he's leading like his own band of bad X-Men.
Oh,
Scott had nothing to do with the school.
Yeah, Scott has nothing to do with the school. Smash cut again. It's a lot of smash cuts. Someone should direct this. But
should have just big things that take power.
yeah. Zowie! Smash cut to Plains, Texas. The Quinjet is setting down, and Captain Marvel is stepping off. Captain Marvel, you exit the Quinjet, and you're in the Dust Bowl. It's very dusty, very western Texas.
Not the Dust Bowl.
As you pulled up, Plains, Texas is like an hour from Lubbock, so it's in that area.
So you're saying it wrong?
What?
Are you sure there's not a view in there somewhere?
Oh, Plain View?
That's what I was thinking.
No, Plains is actually to the south of Texas. And if we have any people from Plains, hi.
We're sorry, your town is terrifying.
I just picked a random town.
Population
But you
200.
step off. Yeah. You step off of the Quinjet. As you were flying, you noticed there was this dusty cloud around Plains, blocking you from getting any closer, so you had to set down a little farther away to avoid running into something that you couldn't see. And by the way, I'm going to, just like the characters have distinctions, scenes are going to have distinctions.
Okay.
So Plains, Texas is going to have some distinctions. So I'll go ahead and put those in the chat so you can read them. Plains, Texas. But Plains, Texas is out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, middle wrong. Middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
And it has about a population just below 2,000. About an hour and a half from Lubbock, and it is vulnerable to sandstorms. As you arrive to the town, you see it's eerily quiet. Spelled quiet. It's eerily quiet. And as you walk up to the outskirts of town, you see cars are left abandoned on the side of the highway, and there doesn't seem to be anyone nearby.
Zombie apocalypse.
Just as you start to walk towards town, there's a bright flash of light. You look, and you see this figure hover out of the air towards you, and you have now met your SHIELD liaison, Dr. Strange.
Hello.
So, Dr. Strange, I guess I should tell you what you're doing here. But SHIELD contacted you and told you about the situation in Plains, Texas. And since you're a master of the occult and weird, they thought it was a good idea to get you on the situation along with Captain Marvel.
All right.
Okay. So, I'm going to open it up to you now. I'm done narrating what happens at the beginning. Let's go ahead and get what the characters want to do.
Who are we starting with?
Oh, the people in Plains, Texas first, and then we're going to go back to New York. I have a very different scene framed for you three in New York.
Okay.
So, Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange, you arrive at Plains. What are you going to do?
It's quiet, Carol. A little too quiet. What do you think our first course of action should be?
That is the question.
Indecisive grumps.
Well, you were here first.
Well, before I was so kindly interrupted, I was just on the verge of setting up a ritual in order to see if the strangeness of this area, the vulnerability to sandstorms, and the unpopulation of this place has anything to do with any demonic forces or supernatural paranormal activity. I suppose I could continue with that.
Yes.
Okay. So, Phil, you are wanting to assemble a dice pool to do a mystic ritual?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and walk us through what dice you're using.
I'm acting alone, because, no offense, but Carol doesn't know anything about sorcery. Acting solo. First, Arcane Defender. I add a D8. Using my Supreme Sorcery, so I add a D12 to my pool. I'll add my, I can only add one, right? For my power set?
Yeah, only one from each power set, unless you have multi-power. Multi-power is a SFX that lets you use multiple dice from your power set.
Okay.
And I'll add D12 for Mystic Senses. And Mystic Master, we'll add another D10 to my pool. And I will roll to see if I'm successful in my ritual. No opportunities.
Okay.
I'm going to take a 9 and a 7 to make my total 16.
Okay.
And I will use a D12 effect.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say you're probably going to be very effective. I'll roll my Doom pool.
I'm not sorcerer kind of okay.
This is not a good way to start.
I'll take one of those.
That
All
is
right, well, I rolled an opportunity.
Okay, so we can take opportunities from the Doom pool.
Yeah, so if I roll an opportunity, that's something bad happening for the bad guys, and something good happening for you.
Okay, cool.
So, do you want to spend a plot point to use one of those Doom, one of those opportunities, or what?
No, I'll just let you fail.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Okay, so you are very successful at your arcane ritual. You reach out into the mystical forces around this town, figure out what's been going on, and there is a very strong, mystical presence here, but it is languishing.
Okay.
So something very strong and magical happened here, but it happened a while ago.
Let's see. Would like to use another mystical ritual to go sorcerer mode, which is very similar to detective mode, and replay the events using mystical means. If,
Okay.
if Tony Stark can do it, then Sorcerer Supreme can do it.
Okay. So you're going Iron Man 3, but mystical?
Yes. Mystical Batman. Let's do this.
Okay.
Should pretty much the same die pool.
Okay.
Vishanti, show me what transpired here. Thank goodness. Alright, 7. A 7 and a 12, so a 22. That's wrong.
No, I was about to say 10.
Yeah,
19? Whatever.
Yeah.
19 and a D12 effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's roll my mighty doom pool of 2d6. So I didn't roll any opportunities this time. But since I only have 2 dice, my total is a 9, and that means my effect die defaults as a d4. So if you don't have any dice left over, your effect die automatically defaults to a d4.
Okay.
So wouldn't that be an exceptional success?
Yes. He exceptionally succeeds in what he's doing.
It's double success.
Double success. Doble success. So you go into mystic mode, replaying, making hard light constructs of everything that went on.
I have Agamotto.
Yeah. And so you're going. It's basically going to be fast forward. What happened? So it looks like Plains, Texas. Everything was going as normal. Kids were going to school. People were meeting together in storefronts. Everything seemed fine. All of a sudden, these 2 people come out of the sky. And despite your exceptional success, there's something marring them. There's something blocking you from seeing just who they are. So these 2 figures come out of the sky, and everything stops in Plains, Texas. Before the people even have a chance to run, you see the people freeze where they stand. Then a few seconds later, you see them start grabbing signposts and siding from houses and metal from cars and just ripping it off with their bare hands, working together and carrying this metal to the center of town, to a park. And you see them building something. And it's working and it's fast forwarding. It lasts for weeks on end. These people are working without any rest or any food, and these 2 figures are watching over them. Eventually, they construct this sort of tower. You haven't really seen anything like it, but they construct this tall tower in the middle of town, and all of a sudden, it's gone, and these 2 people are gone. There's this clap of thunder, you feel a surge of mystical energy, and it's gone. And that is where your detective vision mystical playback ends.
If we have any hope of finding out what's happening here, or what's happened here, we need to figure out who these 2 people are, and figure out what that tower means or symbolizes, or what it's used for, and stop them.
Yeah.
Whenever he played back, did he see all the people die? Or were
Did
they
not
just...
die.
Okay.
They were left. Some of them collapsed, and some of them were left standing.
Okay.
From what you can tell, the city is still inside that dust bowl.
Can we go to the center of town where the tower was built? And
Yeah.
examine it? like examine the area?
So you walk into town. You pass. It's basically a wall of dirt. You pass through the wall of dirt, and on the inside, the town is clear. I mean, there's still this dome of dirt hovering around it, but there's no dirt flowing into the town.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk into town, you see that, like I was saying, signs have been ripped up, metal siding from houses have been ripped off. The town just looks like it was ransacked. You see more abandoned cars, more empty houses. There doesn't seem to be anybody around. You walk towards the center of town to where the park is. And as you come up, you get two more scene distinctions. It's a typical city park, but in the middle is a giant crater. And as you come to the rim of this crater, you look inside and you see people lying all across the crater.
Okay. Do we notice if they're all like deceased, or is there any alive?
From
Check
where
them.
you are, they just look like dirty citizens.
Exceptionally dirty people.
Well, they were working non-stop for weeks, and they're in the middle of a dust storm.
Well, I would go into the crater and examine them just to see if there's nobody left.
Okay. Captain Marvel, what are you doing? You're muted.
Sorry, I thought I muted it before. Did y'all just hear me cough?
No.
No.
Okay. Then I unmuted it before I realized it.
Okay.
He's going into the Dust Bowl?
Yeah, he's walked into the Dust Bowl and he's found this crater with all these people inside of it. Did you walk in with him?
Yes.
Okay. You found the crater as well. Do you want to go down to the people inside of it?
Yes.
Okay. You walk down to the people. You kneel down to look at them. They're unconscious. They look emaciated, sick. They're pale. And you can guess that they are this way because whoever was working them non-stop to the point of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
These people, whoever was working them, and whenever they left, these people just dropped from exhaustion. They're in need of serious medical care and a hamburger. Get that boy a sandwich.
I would like to help these people as much as I possibly can, and whoever else might be in need of urgent care, food and water throughout the rest of the town. Is this all that's left in the city, or what?
The city is pretty small, and there's still abandoned storefronts everywhere. The crater is only in the city park.
Okay. Carol, if you wouldn't mind flying around to the other major parts of town and finding as many survivors as you possibly can, I could set up a portal between here and my Sanctum Sanctorum, and I can get Wong to put out some pallets and get some water and cook some food for these people and nurse them back to health.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Should I roll for the portal resource?
Well, just as you're about to begin your spell, and just as Carol's about to lift off, you see a person kind of limp towards the brim of the crater. And you look up, and you see the blue of his police uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Smash cut. We go to New York, to the site of the Latvian embassy explosion. Let me turn to that page. So, just like Plains, Texas, this will have some seeing distinction.
Okay.
So, Black Panther, since you were in the city when the explosion happened, just down the road, you are the first to arrive, so I'll go ahead and frame this scene for you. As you arrive, you already see that a crowd of concerned citizens has gathered. Crowd of concerned. Crowd of concerned citizens. They're all congregating behind a police. It is now rubble, and it is dangerous and unstable.
Okay. Am I
Go ahead.
in my Panther suit?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. That's basically it. You see a crowd of people all behind a police barricade, and the rubble is still smoldering.
Okay. I'm gonna try to find an alley to sneak around back
Okay.
and just start to investigate the burning rubble.
Okay. I'll say usually Black Panther could probably sneak around a group of unconcerned citizens, or concerned citizens but with something else. But in order for us to get the feel for the dice and stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, go ahead and assemble your dice pool that you're going to use to sneak.
Okay. So it'd be solo.
Hmm.
Do you think superhuman reflexes?
Maybe not. Well, yeah, maybe superhuman reflexes. I think being dexterous would help you be sneaky.
And cybernetic senses? Or nah.
Cybernetic senses, maybe, yeah, because it could keep you alerted to if any people are looking at you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, bear with me. Would
That's
I
fine.
need any more than that? Like specialties?
Probably your covert specialty.
Oh yeah, mastery.
Oh yeah. And I forgot to mention that everyone has one plot point.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 3 10s and a 6.
Okay, so you rolled 3 10s. Oh, you haven't rolled yet.
Okay. I got one d10,
Okay.
1 out of the 1d6, a 9 and a 5.
Okay. So go ahead and choose 2 of those to add together to be your total, and then one of them will be your effect die.
And it doesn't matter what you rolled, right? The effect die is just what die you're using, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'd put the 9 and 5 together.
Okay. So 14 total, and then what's your effect die going to be?
You'd be 1. Right?
Well,
No, sorry, go.
Well, I was going to say, it doesn't matter what you rolled on the dice of your effect die, it's just the die size that matters.
Okay, so it's d10.
Okay, D10. So a 14 total and a D10 effect, you're successful. So that's how you assemble a dice pool.
Oh,
So
cool.
you sneak around pretty easily into the corner, down an alleyway, to the behind the Latvian embassy, or what is left of it. What do you want to do now?
I'm searching for the ambassador,
Okay.
if at all possible.
You get in there and you start looking through the rubble. No one survived.
Not pretty.
No, not pretty.
So am I in contact with Scarlet Witch and Havoc?
Not yet. You don't know that they're there yet. But,
Okay.
speed up. Havoc and Scarlet Witch arrive in the Black Jet. You hear, or not the Black Jet, I said Quinjet, didn't I? You appear in the Quinjet and come down out of the Quinjet. Of course, all the crowd turns to look and see, the Avengers are here. They'll get things straight. And lo and behold, 2 mutants step out.
Fantastic.
And so there's some murmuring among the crowd, like, oh, it's mutants. You hear somebody say something about, I hear she's the daughter of Magneto. You hear, he's Cyclops' brother. Da la la. You know what Cyclops did just a few months ago. Da la 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 la. So what do you two do?
Okay, so we landed like right by the explosion.
Yeah.
Or the rubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How close is this crowd of concerned citizens to the actual danger zone of the explosion?
I will say the police are keeping them about 50 feet back.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so they're not in danger of anything falling on them.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Are they very upset that there are mutants, or they're kind of just murmuring?
Yeah, they're just murmuring right now. They're just,
Okay.
well, you know.
It's not an angry mob of people.
Yeah, well, they say a mutant did this, and look, the mutants are here to cover up what they did.
Okay. I guess I'll go up to the nearest police officer, and do we have any idea what happened? Did anyone see anything? Is there any sort of... Are there any survivors to tell us anything?
The policeman sees you, says, hello, Miss Scarlet Witch. I didn't see anything that happened. I was over on the other side of the block when I got the call about what happened. They say it just blew up. Not sure what happened. Maybe some of the people might have seen something. I think there are some street cameras down the road that you might be able to see. But as for me, I don't know what happened.
Do you know where I'd be able to get a hold of the tapes of the street cameras?
I would assume you could get it from, I don't know, probably the police precinct?
Is a police precinct close?
No. Nothing in New York is close.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Hey,
So I guess I'm going
Hey,
to... so I
Scarlet,
guess I'm... Go ahead, Craig. You have it.
can you do something about this the building? See if you can stabilize it in some way. Well, I'm gonna go ask some of these people if they've seen anything.
Okay. Is the building like actively falling, or is it kind of just like dust on the ground at this point?
There's still some walls that are standing and some pillars inside. So it could start falling at any time. So if you're wanting to stabilize it, you could roll against the Doom Pool, and I would use the unstable thing distinction against you.
Okay. Then I want to do that. Try and... Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to try... Okay, how far back are they? Would there be any way that I could kind of try and contain the rest of the stuff falling instead of keeping it up?
Okay, so put up a little dome, I guess, around it so none of it falls on anybody else?
No, like, pull it down, but just make sure it falls down in a, like, contained fashion so it doesn't fall and crush people to death.
Sure, you could do that, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm going to try and do then.
Okay.
Okay. So, acting alone. And how would distinctions work? Do you have to use like one of everything every time you do something?
Yeah, it's best for you to pull one dice from every little block as you go down your sheet.
Okay. So would I do powerfully unpredictable because I just randomly decided to make it fall down instead of keeping it up?
That's what I was thinking you'd do.
Okay, cool. Cool. And then would it be sorcery mastery? Is my power set?
Yeah.
Okay. And then psych expert under specialty?
It would be more of your mystic expert. Psych
Okay.
expert is whenever you are
Try and read someone's mind, I guess.
using psychology on someone.
Okay. Okay. So
Evil skills, basically.
I have a D6, a D10, and 2D8.
Okay.
Alrighty. Decent, actually. Okay. So guess I'll do. I rolled a 7 and a 6, so 13,
Okay.
and then a D8 as my effect.
Okay, so a 13 and a D8. I will roll. I have a 9 and a D6. So you I guess grip the columns and the rest of the building that is left standing, and you slowly bring it down around you.
Okay.
Black Panther. The building you're standing in suddenly starts to collapse, very slowly and controlled, but you're still inside, and it's collapsing.
Chris is not paying attention, so he doesn't know that the building is falling down all around
It really
him.
comes as a surprise to him.
So it's very surprising. Chris, the building is falling down around you.
I, at this point, have stood back and am just watching the rubble happen.
Okay, so you kind of step back into the alley and watch the building crumble.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably for the best. Alright. So let's go to Havoc. What are you doing?
I put my hands on my head, not believing that she just did the opposite of what I asked her to do. And I'm trying to figure this out. What are you... There could have been people still inside there. And then I turn and try to address the crowd to keep them from just turning into an angry mob.
Okay.
I mean, the building is mostly destroyed. I assume that people were dead at this point. I assume there was no hope.
We always have to assume that there's hope.
Better to protect the people that are definitely still living.
That's why I was asking you to stabilize the building.
But then, the moment we leave, it'll just fall.
But we could have brought it down after we checked for survivors.
Well, then let's check for survivors.
Use a stick and...
It's just, no one's moving.
Can I approach them at this point and tell them there's no survivors and not to waste their time?
Sure. Black Panther materializes out of the darkness
Of course he does.
and delivers that line that he just said.
Black Panther
Oh, you
comes out of the
see,
blackness.
Havoc, you need to calm down. It was fine.
It's fine the whole time.
It was fine the whole time. I had it under control. Alright?
I at this point just go and start asking people in the crowd what they've seen.
Okay. Oh, where is it? Okay. Go ahead and assemble a dice pool. And you would probably use your psych distinction for this if you have one.
I do not.
You do not. So you walk up to them and you're like, "Yo, What happened? Did you do it?
But it's going to be a D6 for solo.
Okay.
Could I use my something to prove negatively at this point? Because she just brought the building down instead of stabilizing it?
Okay, so you're trying to prove to these people that you are heroes and aren't here to just finish what you started.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Exactly.
And I will go ahead and give you a plot point to do that.
I'm keeping track of those as well, so...
Yeah, I have tell me whenever you get experience or stress or plot points, because I have a little initiative tracker over here that I'm going to use to keep track of initiative and all that kind of stuff.
Alright, and... Science or cosmic expert wouldn't help me at all, would it?
No. You walk up to them and say, listen, I've been around the Shi'ar.
You do know who the Shi'ar are, right?
You should tell me.
Alright.
Kind of a big deal.
Lilandra, Gladiator.
Just to let you know, I did roll an opportunity.
Okay.
And now I got a question. Since I only rolled 2 dice, do I...
That means
Does
your
my
default
result
effect is a
have-
D4, right?
Yeah, my default effect was always going to be the D4, but
Oh, okay.
since one of them was an opportunity, does it still have to be 2 dice for your result?
That's a good question. So since you rolled a opportunity on one of your dice, you can't use it. So if you rolled an opportunity on your dice, you cannot use it in your effect or in your total. So Craig would only have 1 dice to use for his total, and he would only get a D4 for his effect.
Right. So my total is a 4, and my effect is a 4.
Okay. Well, you know what, Craig? I'm going to go ahead and give you a plot point to activate that opportunity and add another D6 to the Doom pool. And basically, you walk up and very brusquely, like, Scarlet Witch just collapsed this building, and you walk over and you're like, what are you doing? We're supposed to be protecting these idiots. Like, did you see anything? What happened? So they're all like, okay. And they're going to kind of slowly back away from you because maybe your little circle on your chest is sparking from frustration that you're having. So I'm going to use the Doom Pool, 3d6, and I'm going to use the Crowd of Concerned Citizens distinction as a d4. Because...
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so on my power sets, one of my SFX is that I can... he said I can change the Doom dice. Doom pool. Yeah.
So your reality alteration SFX.
Right.
Whenever
Like it never happened, man.
Like it never happened. Like it never happened. When an opportunity is activated to add a D6 to the Doom pool, spend 1 PP and replace it with a D4. So this is a perfect time. Havoc just rolled an opportunity. I added a D6. You could use a plot point to make this D6 a D4 instead.
Save your plot points. I'm going to roll plenty more opportunities.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't really think it's going to affect it that much at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'd be really helpful whenever we roll an opportunity and David goes to step up a die.
That is true. Yeah.
Also,
Should probably do it next time anyways.
yeah. So if the Doom die ever gets to 2d12, I can automatically end the scene. I can say, you lost, now describe
It's
how
done.
you lost.
Okay.
So one time we were playing, and the party was chasing some savages through the Savage Land.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had 2d12, so I said, scene's over. You lost. one of you escapes. Which one of you escapes? So they had to debate about, well, which one of us escaped and which ones of us get captured, and so they had to roleplay that and how it happened.
Okay.
So, I'll let it get to 2d12.
Hey, David, I'm going to be right back.
Okay. Back to the reaction roll for what Havoc was doing. 3d6, I'm going to use the crowd of concerned citizens as a d4. So that means I will get to add a d6 to the doom pool later. But go ahead and roll. Hey, I rolled an opportunity.
Yeah.
So my roll is 8 and a d6.
That's still higher than Craig, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Or Havok, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Craig stepped away for a bit, but I don't know if he can hear us. But basically, he walks up to the crowd, starts barking at him, and they kind of get uppity about him, like, hey man, we didn't come in here and destroy this. Your homegirl just came in and collapsed that building, and I'm feeling a little scared because you're sparking and glowing, and she's tearing stuff down, and this dude stepped out from nowhere, and I don't know where he came from. So, listen, I don't even know if you should be a hero, because I know who your brother is, and his name is Cyclops, and he's God knows where, and who knows if you're just like him. So, Craig, are you following the Cyclops' brother milestone?
I am actually following both milestones that are on my data file because most of the team ones are based off of human-mutant interaction.
Okay.
Which this
So,
is.
since someone has questioned your credibility as a hero based solely on your relationship to Cyclops, you get 1 experience point.
Awesome.
Can I attempt to better the situation by asking kindly and saying, look, we just came here to try and help. I apologize, my friend just saw a building collapse. He's a little on edge.
Okay, so you're wanting to... what are you wanting to do then? You're wanting to kind of talk them down.
Right.
But I'm thinking about how that will work mechanically. Are you wanting to try to reduce the doom pool?
Is that how I would do this? Or would it just be another dice
I
roll
don't
for
think that's how it would work. Because I don't think you can roll to step down the doom die or doom pool. But you can step up and kind of start talking to them and trying to diffuse the situation.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So that would mean I would roll again, right?
Since there's not really going to be a success or fail for this, I'm going to say you don't have to.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
So you step up and you start talking to them, like, hey, calm down, it's going to be okay. He's just cranky, he hasn't had his coffee.
We had to leave somewhere real fast. We were about to see we were about to see the school, and Toad was telling this funny joke. I had to leave. I'm sorry.
So, as that's all going on, Black Panther, you and your keen senses, you see somebody has a cell phone and he's recording everything that's happening.
Can I sit back and just watch what he does?
Yeah, sure.
Just keeping an eye on him, like focused on him, not really paying attention to anything else at this point.
Okay, so just paying attention to that guy.
Yeah.
You hear him whisper to his buddy like, yo, this is gonna get so many hits on YouTube, man. I got the heroes arguing, I got the guy who blew up the embassy. Man, this is gonna get some good hits.
Am I considered part of the X-Men?
No.
No.
you are sometimes allied with the X-Men. You have buddies in the X-Men, but you're not part of the X-Men.
You had a former wife that was an X-Man.
Oh, yeah, it's true, Storm.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, out of respect, I'd probably approach him and ask him to put his phone away. I don't know if my physical appearance would keep him from recording more, or...
Okay.
Would intimidate him.
Why don't you go ahead and... I won't make you roll against it.
Hey, can I interject real quick that this guy did say that he saw, or he recorded who blew up the embassy?
Right.
He did say that?
Yeah.
That's
And
why.
since you had stepped back and kind of just put your eyes on him and what he was doing, you did hear that. They didn't, but you did.
Okay. Then I'd probably ask him to borrow his phone in a threatening manner,
Okay.
and then probably tell him I wouldn't delete it, but just need to see what's on it.
Okay. I will say go ahead and assemble your dice pool.
F1? This has to do with solo. I don't think any of my power sets would really matter.
Yeah, well, if you... Oh, I don't have his data file in here. If you are trying to intimidate him, you might, flex your muscles a little, so you might be able to add your enhanced strength in.
Enhanced durability? Oh, enhanced strength. Superhuman strength. Okay.
Either way, you're beefier.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also a menace expert. It's an 8. Okay. So, superhuman strength, menace expert, and solo. So I got 17 and a D8.
Okay. So 17 and D8. That's pretty good. I'm going to be rolling Doom Die. Going to use the crowd of concerned citizens as a D8 because you're trying to intimidate this guy in a crowd. So this is basically to see if anyone sees you intimidating this guy and if there are any repercussions for that. Hey, that one went far away. No opportunities, and I have a D6 for my effect die and a 13 for my total. So what was yours?
It was 17, so it was 2d10s, 17, and then 1d8, and I rolled an 8. Oh.
Okay, so you succeed in intimidating this guy, and he, hey man, it wasn't me. I just have the footage here. You can have it. It's just the phone, man.
Then I walk off with his phone.
Okay.
I need this phone.
He isn't going to do anything
This
about
is mine now.
It's totally my phone.
And it's totally my phone.
Totally my fault.
I like this phone. I will keep it.
There are many like this one inside.
Blink into the darkness with his phone.
Okay. So are you going to watch the footage, and while Black Panther is menacing people behind your backs and you have no idea what he's doing, what are Havok and Scarlet Witch doing? Just Scarlet Witch and Havok show up. He drops the building. He's going crazy. And then in the background, Black Panther's beating some dude up and taking his phone.
Great for human-mutant relations.
Yeah. This is gonna be a cinch.
I can't wait. Okay, so how is the crowd currently reacting to us? Was I able to quiet anyone down at all, or is everyone still just freaking out?
Yeah. Well, they're still kind of hesitant. You did manage to kind of, hey, let's calm down. Let's not get too hot about this. So they're like, oh, okay. They're back to grumbling.
Can I ask the crowd if anyone saw any suspicious activity before it flew up? The building, not it.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a. Well, you asked that question, but it's going to give you the same result as what Black Panther is about to do. So,
Okay.
Black Panther, you have the phone. I guess you flip through the video and press play.
Yeah, choose to. Can I choose to watch it before I show them?
Okay.
Or should I? Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. There's no really way for me to whisper it to you, but I'll give it to you and player knowledge.
Okay.
So, you see just amateur footage, guys recording somebody doing a prank or something on somebody on the street, and then you see somebody rushing through the crowd. And you recognize the guy rushing through the crowd as the guy who rushed past you earlier when you were walking through the street. He's wearing a orange hoodie, blue jeans, his face is covered, and he's running. He sprints through the crowd, pushes past the guy, and the guy with the camera kind of, hey, watch where you going, buddy? And the guy runs into the embassy, and next thing you know, the embassy explodes.
Okay. I guess I'll walk over to Scarlet Witch and Havoc and show them the footage.
Okay.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Does the footage show who the person is?
Oh, wait. Does
Yeah,
anyone
his face is covered.
Does anyone have superhuman senses or better?
Let's see. I have cybernetic senses, but that's not.
Again, I have mystic senses, but no.
Okay. Okay.
And I've just absorbed energy and blast.
Okay. So that's really all you can see with this footage.
Okay.
Man, what I'd give for Wolverine to be here.
Hey, I see something.
I saw this thing run. I guess at this point there's nothing we can do with the rest of the crowd. Should we kind of try and
the
get
crowd
the
is kind
crowd
of
to disperse? Could we get them to disperse?
You could try to disperse them.
Probably a terrible idea for me to do that.
Yeah. Seems like a waste of energy.
Yeah.
Blew up a building. They probably don't want me to, send them away so I can blow up more buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any residual explosions from the building?
Yeah, is there any way we
Or
can
was it?
look through the debris and see if there was anything that caused the explosion? Or is it just a giant pile of rubble? Or can we start sifting through it?
No, you can start sifting through it.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna do then.
Okay.
That's
So you
that's.
go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I was just going to see if there were any residual explosions off the building, or was it just pretty much the one explosion and then Scarlet bringing the building down?
No, there haven't been any more explosions.
Okay. Other than the guy bumping into Black Panther, did any of us see which? I'm gonna ask Black Panther, which way was this guy headed when you bumped into him?
The opposite direction I was walking.
Yeah.
So I
He'll,
passed the
he'll
building.
point. He'll point up the street, so like that way.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was heading past the building, or was he? Or did he go into the building?
He
I
went
didn't see that. I didn't pay attention to it.
So
Just
on the cell phone
bumped into me.
footage, he ran through the crowd, ran up the steps, went into the doors,
And then it exploded. Okay. Though honestly, we can't say that it was necessarily him.
Was he holding anything?
No, he's just wearing a hoodie. I'm going to start shifting through the wreckage to see if there's anything I can find.
Out of player knowledge, it was Nitro. There's nothing we can do about it. He's somewhere
Yeah.
else now.
Mm-hmm.
Player knowledge. It was
Player knowledge is not Scarlet Witch knowledge. I'm going to sift through this debris, okay?
All right, you dig through it. There's a lot of skeleton from people that were there at the embassy, servants, the ambassador himself, ambassador's family. While Scarlet Witch is kind of sifting through Black Panther and Havoc, are you sifting through with her?
Is Doom here himself, or is he not at the embassy?
Doom would never bother himself to visit America.
Unless he was trying to steal something from Captain America.
Yeah, unless he was trying to take over.
Oh,
Not quite time for him to, like, own us, so, yeah.
Yeah, not yet.
I'd probably
I'm
shift
going-
around the entrance of the building.
Okay.
Not like the rest of it, just because I'd already shifted through some of it, but like just the entrance because of the video.
Okay.
I'm going to shift around trying to locate the security, what would have been the security room, and see if maybe I can find video footage of this guy entering the building.
Okay. So while the three of you are searching, you find it strange that there is no debris from any explosive device in the building.
Okay.
Cassie, as you're sifting through the wreckage, you keep moving the skeletons to the side with your mystic powers. You dig far enough down, and you find a skeleton wearing the tattered remains of an orange hoodie.
Okay. And it's just... I assume there's nothing left in his pockets.
No, nothing left in his pocket. But as you
so he
turn
didn't have
him,
any sort of... Okay. Go
as
ahead.
you're searching him and as you turn him over, you find... What was it? You find a strange circular indentation on the chest. Dang it. On the chest, as if something was clamped to his skin.
Okay. So, hey guys. I found a thing. So, it's kind of... I mean, I assume this is obviously the guy on the tape. So...
Can I roll an intelligence roll to figure out what it is?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Oh, I got a science expert. Would that help?
Yeah, roll either a science or tech. And Craig, you go ahead. You find the remains of the room, and go ahead and assemble a dice pool to try to get into the monitoring equipment and check.
Okay. Let me see where the scene distinctions, because I have none that would help. Now, is dangerously unstable, is that all one distinction, or is that two separate ones?
That's two separate distinctions.
Okay,
And
so
it's not really
dangerous and
unstable
are-
anymore because...
Yeah.
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 Well, crap, I got no distinction then. Yeah, unless I got something to prove.
You could.
I'll find out what happened. Yeah, totally something to prove.
Yeah. Alright, so it's going to be solo as something to prove, and I'm using it positively, and science expert.
Okay.
which I rolled an opportunity, though it
Okay.
is not a 1.
Okay. Were you using? So you rolled a 2, I guess.
No, wait, I rolled a 2. Wait, that's only when I'm using ambient energy conversion.
Yeah.
So never mind, that is not an opportunity.
Yeah.
My result is a 13 with an effect of a D8.
13 with an effect of a D8.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to use a Doom Pool. I'm going to add a D8 because it's dangerous. So it's going to be kind of hard for you to get anything off of these hard drives because of what happened here. So I rolled a 14 and a D6.
Yeah, your 14 beats my 13.
Okay. Now you can use a plot point to add one of your leftover die into your total to bump it up over mine if you have any.
Well, I could, but that would leave me with an effect of a D4, which then your D6 effect would step down that, or does it automatically a D4 no matter what?
Yeah, it's automatically a D4 no matter what. Even if I stepped it down, it
Okay.
would still stay a D4.
Okay, well in that case, I'm going to use a plot point to add my third die, making my total a 15 with an effect of a D4.
So what did it step it up to?
It's a 15 total,
Okay.
which just ekes over your 14.
Okay. So through blood, sweat, and tears, you managed to get into the files to find just a snippet of footage from right before the explosion. So you see a lobby shot, and you see people are working, going about their business as usual, and then a man with a hoodie, an orange hoodie, runs in and explodes, and then the footage closes.
Okay. On the footage, did I see the device, or is the device hidden under the hoodie?
Do you have a enhanced senses or better?
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay. So you can't, but if someone had enhanced senses, they could.
Okay. What about, did it
Okay.
catch his face, or was his face hidden by the hoodie?
His face was hidden by the hood.
Okay. I'm going to call out to Black Panther and Scarlet Witch to show them the footage that I found to see if they can get anything more off of it.
Okay. So you two, I guess you go to the tech room as well. He shows you the footage. Black Panther, you have cybernetic senses, which is basically just as good as enhanced senses.
Mm-hmm.
So your little white goggles on your Panther mask kind of zoom in as you're watching the footage, and you see something underneath the man's orange hoodie. It's a circular metal device, and it seems to be glowing. It doesn't look like anything you've ever seen.
Okay. Can I roll for it? I have world-class intellect and tech expert
Let me...
and science expert.
Okay. I will say that you do recognize it
Okay.
because Reed Richards likes to tell stories. And he told you a story one time of when the Illuminati shot Hulk off into space because he was a danger to Earth. And then Hulk came back from outer space, and he was very angry. He captured the Illuminati and put these things on them called obedience discs. And the obedience discs basically made them do whatever Hulk wanted them to do. So in that particular story, he made the Illuminati fight each other in gladiatorial combat for his immunity. And so you recognize
Okay.
that disc as a slave disc.
And I explained to
Yeah.
them.
So
This
whoever
is
this
Hey, David.
Slave disc, y'all.
they were used.
So this is obviously just not like a random happening. It wasn't a random terrorist attack. There was definitely
Calculated.
Well,
Greg, what were you
okay.
saying?
Sorry.
I was going to ask if we would know of anybody, so if our characters have ever faced anybody who, can explode, seeing as they were obviously controlled and there were no bomb fragments laid anywhere.
Yeah. You know of Nitro. So it could have been Nitro for all you know, but there are tons of superhumans out there with tons of superpowers, so who knows who it could have been.
Okay. We just know of Nitro most famously because of the Stanford incident,
Yeah.
I guess.
So,
Kind of at a banana pass.
you are watching this footage, seeing what all happens, and all of a sudden you hear yelling outside from the crowd.
Fantastic. Okay, so run outside.
You run outside, and you see that a crowd of people is marching down the street towards this crowd of people, and they all have signs saying, "Die Muty, Muty scum, go back to wherever you came from, Muty," and this rabble is rousing the crowd. Smash cut. Back to Plains, Texas. Oh yeah, there are 2 other people in this game. So, back in Plains, Texas, the policeman walks up to the crater, and both of you see him, and he's just standing there.
He walks up to the crater, or he walks up from the crater?
To the crater. You are both kind of down in the crater, and he walks up to the edge of it, and he's looking down into it.
Does he appear to be unharmed, or is he disheveled at all?
From what you can tell, he's a little disheveled, just like everyone else so far.
Is he zombie walking it?
He is not zombie walking it.
Officer, are you okay?
He
Do
does
you need
not
assistance?
respond. He's still pretty far away from you, and the sun is coming through the dust behind him, and it's kind of blocking his face.
Silhouette.
Yeah, silhouette.
I'll walk closer to him to get a better look at him.
Okay. And as you walk towards him, you see more people appear beside him. A few people on his left, then a few people on his right. And then you see a mob of people, all disheveled, all very blank looks on their faces, and they look at you, and their lips pull back into a snarl. And then they charge at you. So, this is no longer a transition scene. This is an action scene. So, how initiative works in action scenes is it's free reign. The person whose turn it is kicks it to another person, and they kick it to another person. So in this scene, there's Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and this mob of citizens. So, which one of you would like to go first?
I'll allow the major to first.
So they're
Ladies
coming
first.
at us. Do they have, like, weapons or anything, or they're just running at us?
Yeah, they're just running at you. All they seem to have are their mitts.
Well.
They're not zombies.
Right, but it's
Have
just a
weapons.
matter of if I start attacking them, obviously I'm stronger than they are. Do I really want to kill all of them, or what is the ultimate goal here, you know?
Yeah. You could try to defuse the mob by using your brute force to knock them down. Since you're not wanting to kill them outright, maybe just knocking them down and knocking them out will diffuse the situation. Or, getting a steel girder and doing the Superman where you wrap them all in a steel girder and stop them in their tracks.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Go ahead and make a dice pool then. And when you make a dice pool, remember you just go down your sheet, grab the dice that you need. Let's see.
So it's going to be solo, take charge attitude.
Okay.
Superhuman strength.
Okay.
Would I need to use superhuman stamina?
No, not
I know
really.
if I have to like hold them in the.
Yeah. If you were doing something where you were trying to brace against something, you would use stamina. But usually stamina is going to be used in your reaction rolls.
Okay.
Stamina will never really be used in an action roll against somebody.
And then combat expert, would that be?
Okay, so maybe you're a superhero, so you fought a lot of villains. Maybe you've wrapped steel girders around people before, so you can be a combat expert.
I frequently wrap steel girders around people.
Seems like a good thing to do. Okay, so that's
Saturday.
Now, how many dice do I add? All of them but one?
You add 2 for your total, and then you use 1 for your effect.
So 16 with the D8 effect.
Okay. 16 with the D8 effect.
Wait, no, I did that wrong. 10 with a D8 effect.
10 with the D8 effect?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not have any higher ones that you could add into your total?
Yep.
Okay. Alright. You're no longer rolling against the Doom Pool since you're taking an action against somebody. You're taking an action against the mob. So mobs are a bit different than usual characters. Usually you just stress out characters by dealing stress to them. But mobs, since there are a lot of them, they have multiple dice. This mob has 5d6 dice. And the way you defeat a mob is you reduce their dice. Well, let's see. You have to deal a d8 or more stress to them. So you're going to have to deal a d8 or more stress 5 times to completely get rid of this mob. And since you're doing complication, it's the same way, except you're not hurting them, you're just complicating them out of the scene. So the citizens are a 5d6. I'm going to say that they're going to use their primal as a d8 against you. Yeah, and I think that'll be it. I have one opportunity. So if you want, you may spend 1 plot point to use that opportunity, to add something to your you. I don't have the player cheat sheet with me, but what are some things that you can do with plot points by activating a Watcher's Roll?
Where is that at?
You can step up a push, stunt, asset, or create a resource that lasts for one scene.
Okay. So you can step up a asset or stunt or push?
Yeah. Or create a resource.
Okay, or create a resource. Creating a resource has always been kind of iffy to me, because resources are like... So Black Panther is about to fight the Hulk. He knows he can't fight the Hulk by himself, so he's going to make a device that drains the Hulk's gamma energy. So in a transition scene, he makes a resource. And then he gets to use that resource in the next round. So, like, making a resource on the fly in, like, the middle of a combat situation, that's always been kind of confusing to me. But if you can describe it, then I guess it works. Yes, Phil. What was I saying? Oh, so I rolled an opportunity. If you want, Captain Marvel, you can use a plot point and activate this opportunity and use it to step up your complication. I know that it didn't say it on the player cheat sheet, but I think it would make sense if the mob messed up that you were able to get the jump on them just a little bit more to wrap that girder around them.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to spin the
But what does that look like?
Mechanically?
Yes.
You will... Everyone starts with one plot point. So there should be a space on your data file.
Yeah. No, I got that part.
Okay. So you would spin that plot point.
Yes.
And
But then what do I do?
Then your D8 complication would become a D10.
Okay. And how do you get plot points?
You get them by using distinctions negatively, or by me purchasing more opportunities.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and use it.
Okay. Go ahead and purchase that opportunity. Go ahead and take that. And your D8 is now a D10. Let me go ahead and add mine together. I have a 9 and a D8. So you succeed, and you have exceptional success because you rolled more than 5 than me.
Mm-hmm.
So that steps up your effect die by 1 step. So it steps up from a D10 to a D12. So you quite handily tear the bumper off of a car and rush to these people, and they're kind of taken back, and you use that opportunity to wrap the girder or wrap the bumper around them and kind of push them to the side, and you effectively take out quite a few of them and reduce their die pool from 5d6 to 4d6.
Nice.
So, good job, Cap. And then, who do you want to kick it to? You can kick it to Doctor Strange, or you can kick it to the citizens.
Doctor Strange.
Okay. And some of you might be wondering, why would you kick it to a villain? Because whoever goes last gets to pick who goes first.
Okay.
So if you push off the villain until the end, so he takes his turn, the beginning of initiative comes back and he says, I go again.
I want to go again.
It's a double turn.
Okay.
So there's some strategy to letting the villain go. But we pass it to Doctor Strange for now.
All right. She's free of the crater now, like having like flown under them and disabled so many of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What I would like to do is, um, I don't want to hurt any of them, so I just want to like complicate them and kind of disable them in the way I possibly can.
Wrangle
My first idea.
them.
My first idea is to I want to levitate above the crater that they're all at the edge of, and I want to use my power set to transmute the crater itself into a swirling whirlwind or a whirlpool of quicksand.
Whirling dervish.
Then kind of suck them all into it, and they would get stuck and not be able to do anything, but also would hurt us
Okay.
and not be hurt themselves. So that's what I want to do.
All right. So is this an area attack?
It's just setting up a complication.
Okay. Do you have the SFX to do an area attack?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You can make it an area attack and do complication for multiple opponents.
Cool.
So
I
you
figured it
can
would be a complication for the mob.
Yeah, well,
The mob consists of multiple people.
yeah, the mob consists of multiple people. So just like Captain Marvel did, she made a complication for a group of people and complicated them out.
Okay.
And now you can target the remaining 4d6 people with your whirlwind.
Alright, so I just add a d6 for every 4, or for 1 for each of the 4, and then keep an additional effect. That's all. Hello?
Yeah. What'd you say? You keep.
So I keep an additional d6 for the 4 people remaining, and then add an additional effect die, right?
Mhm. So you're going to add 4d6 and have 4 effect die.
Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah, that's a lot of dice.
And with my alliterative invocations, when I'm using a stunt to create a magical asset or complication, I add an extra d6 and step up my effect die.
Okay. And does it says a stunt? Okay.
Yeah.
So what stunts are is when you use your powers fancily, I guess. So you have to announce, I'm using a stunt, and you spend a plot point, and you get to add a d8 to your dice pool. The example that the rulebook gives for a stunt is Storm, and she's whipping up a whirlwind, and she's going to say, I'm going to use my powers a little fancifully, and say that I'm picking up debris and stuff from the street, and also hurling it at my foes. So she spends a plot point, gets to add a d8 to her pool.
Okay. So I need to spend a plot point.
Okay, yeah, if you want to spend a plot point to make a stunt,
Okay.
you're gonna do that.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll use my plot point.
Alright.
Okay, this is gonna be a huge die pool.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm acting solo, so D10. I am Earth's Arcane Defender, so that will be my a D8. I'm using transmutation. Goodness. There's like so many of them. It's ridiculous. Hey. Multi-power area attack? That's crazy.
How many dice are in your die pool right now?
Only 2.
Oh.
But I'm trying to figure out my next step.
So you already have your affiliation and distinction, right? You would use transmutation.
Yeah, use transmutation, so D10. And then the area attack, or with my alliterative invocations, it would be another D6, and I just step up my effect. With the area attack, I have to add 4 D6s 1, 2, 3, and I don't have enough. Oh, I do. Cool. 46. And I keep an additional. Keep looking down. So, use my Mystic Master, a D10.
Okay.
And that'll be it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 dice. That would be awesome.
All right.
All right. Okay. So create this mystical whirlpool of quicksand.
Sounds like bullets. Killed your
Halo
shotgun.
gunfire. Gracious. With the highest numbers. Threes for days. So I'm going to take a 15 is my total, and I only get to step up one of my effect dice, right?
Why would you step up an effect die?
No, I only get to step up one because of my SFX, right?
Alliterative invocation? Yeah, I would say just one.
Okay, I'll step up my D10 to a D12, so that'll be awesome. And then I've got a D8 and 3, or there's only, or there would be 5 of them because of the additional 4, or what? Or just the 4?
Yeah,
for the
you would just
targets?
use the 4.
Okay, so I have a D12, a D8, and 2 D6.
Okay, so what's your total?
15.
Yeah, your total is a 15. And your effect die are what?
12, 10, and, no, 12, 8, and 2 D6.
That is absurd.
12, 8, and 2d6.
It's Doctor Strange right there.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, destroyer of mobs. Okay. I'm going to say the mob rushes forward kind of blindly, so I'm going to use their primal distinction as a D4, and I will step up a D6 in the Doom Pool to a D8. And then I'm going to use their swarm ability, which gives them a D8, because there are multiple ones of them, and it might be harder for you to get all of them in one go. So, let's see if they can overcome what monstrosity you're unleashing upon them. Hey, an opportunity! I rolled all 4s. They're all 4. Alright, well, do you want to activate that opportunity? You don't have a
We don't
problem.
have points.
Yeah. Never mind. So they rolled an 8 with a D6, a D6, a D6, and a D4. So the mob is gone.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I guess the mob rushes forward. They didn't know what was going on. You jump into the air, do your spell, and then all of a sudden they're caught in a whirlpool of dust.
Yeah. A Sarlacc pit of quicksand.
Without the Sarlacc.
Yeah, except Doctor Strange is the Sarlacc.
Doctor Strange is laughing. He's the Sarlacc.
All right, so as quickly as that fight started, Doctor Strange diffuses the mob.
Yes.
So what do y'all want to do now?
What can we do, Carol?
Go back to the original plan.
You want me to take all of these raving lunatics and put them in my home?
No, not mine.
Call ahead to Wong. Wong, we're about to have visitors.
We have to figure out what happened.
Like a tornado in with them.
Yeah, we had to figure out what happened. Goodness, I wish I could divine the identities of those two people. That would probably take some resources that I have back at home. I can't do it here.
All in good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those citizens are knocked out. Carol, do you do a fly around of the city?
Yes.
Okay, you fly around the city. You find more people lying exhausted in the streets, but none of them are left standing.
Good.
And while she's doing a flyby, Dr. Strange, what are you doing?
I'm going to keep trying to find some way to break the mental shackles that are on these people that are keeping them bound to the will of somebody else, probably those two guys, or the two beings
Okay.
who enslaved them in the first place.
Okay. Go ahead and assemble your dice pool.
Okay. Solo, D10, Arcane Defender, D8. Could I use a multi-power to use my Supreme Sorcery and Telepathy?
Sure.
And can I go into their minds, use that to kind of invade their minds and prod around in there?
Yeah. Please
Cool.
do.
That's what I'll do. So that'll be D12 for Supreme Sorcery and D8 for Telepathy. Take Mystic Master for D10. And that'll be it. My Regalia won't help me. So, I'll roll this. Oh my gosh. 2 opportunities.
Okay. I'm going to give you 1 plot point, and I'm going to activate both of those opportunities to add a D8 to the Doom pool. So now
And it's
the
only
Doom pool is sitting at 2D8 and 3D.
Point for both.
Yeah, I just give you 1 plot point, and I can use both of them as a D8.
Alright. My total is a 13. No, 12. Yeah, 12. And a D12 effect.
Okay, 12 and a D12. Rolling against the Doom pool, 1 opportunity. This is just a game of a million opportunities. I have a 10 and a D8. So you succeed.
Excellent.
Alright. So you you use your telepathy, you go into the mind of another person, and this is what happens. You see through the eyes of another person 2 shadowy figures strolling into town. Next, a bright display of light. Then, darkness. You see your hand pulling metal siding from a house. You lift a brick to break the window to an electronics store. You carry your haul to the middle of town and you see something tall rising up out of the ground, shadowy and dark against a glaring Texas sun. You see a man floating in the air, a cape or trench coat flapping in the wind behind him. You see a man spitting something over his head. You hear the crack of thunder, and then you black out. And this man, or I guess it could be a woman, this person that you are connecting with mentally, you can sense that there was something in their mind before, but it has since gone. It was as if their mind was tethered by a rubber band to something, and it had been stretched out over a great distance, but then all of a sudden it snapped, and their mind snapped along with it. And so, as you came here, some of them fainted from exhaustion. Others, since their minds snapped, they regressed into a primal state of defending their territory.
All right.
No big deal.
So we understand why they attacked us.
Yeah.
A little bit more insights to who we're dealing with, but not very much.
Okay. And as you finish up that divination, Captain Marvel comes back in from her flyby.
Okay.
There's no one left standing.
So I guess everybody else are the lucky ones who passed out from exhaustion.
Lucky.
Luckier than all the ones who had their minds warped and snapped.
What are you talking about?
Never mind, Carol.
So,
You have to find out the identity of these two beings is.
so as you finish with that, Doctor Strange, you do another spell to kind of ascertain what happened here and where did those two people go and what was that big thing that everyone was building. You do a scrying spell, I guess, and you find out the lingering presence of a teleportation spell. And by tracking that teleportation spell, you realize that whatever was here is now in New York.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
So, time
Hot.
for
Kick
Captain
in.
Marvel and Doctor Strange to head to New York. But I would assume before you go, you call S.H.I.E.L.D. and be like, hey, these people need help. Go ahead and send somebody to help them.
Yes.
Okay.
So you
Nope.
don't have to send them to Doctor Strange's house.
Yeah. Doctor Strange calls Wong. You don't have guests anymore. All right.
After we cook all the food and stuff.
Yeah.
Can't,
Put away all the nice stuff.
Meanwhile, Wong is in an apron, and he has a broom, and he just forlornly drops the broom. All right. Captain Marvel loads up in the Quinjet. Doctor Strange might ride with her, or might teleport them all there at once.
I'll just walk through a corner of my house.
Yeah. But they're on your way to New York. Meanwhile, back in New York, this group of anti-mutant protesters has walked up. And they all have signs, and they're shouting about how this was a mutant attack, and this is just a continuation of the Avengers versus X-Men war, and that none of us are safe as long as mutants are allowed to walk around along with normal, regular people. Oh, this is an action scene. It will work a little differently because you want to avoid fighting these people, but it's an action scene in so much as it's an argument, and you're trying to defuse the situation before it becomes a riot. So, we have some new, not specialties, new distinctions. The area is now tense, overcrowded. There are now cameras and news reporters in the crowd. And arguing with the crowd, you might find that some of them are irrational. So those distinctions are in the chat. So, this lynch mob, well, they want to be a lynch mob, they don't have a reason to yet, walk up and start accusing the mutants there of destroying the embassy and attacking New York.
Are they accusing mutants in general or us particularly?
They're accusing mutants in general. They're saying mutants are the reason that everything is wrong with the world. They're the reason the economy is falling. They're the reason this building is blown up. Thanks, Obama. You see one punk kid with a shirt that says Obama is a mutant.
I like this kid already.
And then everyone yells for Quentin Quire to get back to class.
Quire.
I'd probably suggest to the mutants that we can't really handle this situation and leave.
What was my suggestion?
Okay.
I have nothing that I could use to quiet a crowd. I tell the officer, we don't want to make this any worse for you. Is there anything we can do to help, or would it be better for us to just leave?
So you're asking, there's nothing we can really do. Would it be better if we just left?
Well,
No, he's asking.
well, I was asking the officer. I don't want to make this any worse for you, trying to keep order here. Would it be better for us to just leave?
Hey man, I don't know. They came here looking for somebody. In my experience, you might as well say it wasn't you and try to defend yourself.
Okay. Am I the only one that has psych at all?
Yes, you are.
I have psych.
I have Mystic Expert.
Yeah, I'm psych expert. Okay.
I mean, if they turn into a murderous mob, I can do something. Until
So-
then, I'll only aggravate them.
Is there any way that I can appeal? God, I can't believe we do this. Is there any way that I can appeal to their emotional side with my tortured soul distinction?
Okay. How?
Sort of like, we were trying to help. This is not all mutants are bad. We were trying to help. We came here as fast as we could to try and save whoever we could from this situation.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your dice.
For my tortured soul?
Yeah, go ahead and use it. I think it would work.
Does this crowd consider me a mutant?
Or do they just like, I don't even know who you are?
Is your identity public? Just say on your data file if it's public.
Where would it say that? At the personality?
Yeah.
It would be.
It'll say
on
your
that
name.
page at the top. T'Challa bracket public or secret. I would want to say it's public because
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, it
the
must be.
king.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows who he is, yeah.
Yeah.
Or from the comics I've read.
Let me see if I can find it.
Well, they know he's Black Panther,
Yeah.
and that he teams with mutants, and the Avengers,
Right.
and whoever he feels like every day.
Yeah.
These guys seem interesting.
Whoever serves his purposes for
That's
today's
it.
agenda.
Celsius.
Yeah, okay. It is public, so people know who you are. They know that you're, to quote the 1990s X-Men show, a mutie lover.
So I saw him grouped in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't throw them
View
under the bus
from
and
this
escape.
Mob.
Nah, wasn't planning on it, but you know. Back pocket and all.
Just leave. Slink into it. Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna do this, man.
Alright. Roll it
I'm
up.
gonna follow their lead.
With my tortured soul.
Go ahead and roll it.
Would I use Mystic Senses for that at all, or that wouldn't be a thing? I don't have anything on my power set, right?
Yeah. Not really.
No, didn't think so. Okay.
Are you working as a team or solo?
Well, it depends. Is Havoc helping? Because Black Panther said he would, so I'd be working with a buddy.
Oh, yeah, Havoc would help.
Okay.
I mean, he's limited as to what he could do, but he would definitely help.
He could stand behind you and say, yeah, what she said.
Alrighty. Good. Nice. Okay, so I have 17. Oh, excuse me. 15. And D10 for effect.
Okay, so what was your total?
15.
15 and a D10 effect?
Yes.
Okay, that's not bad. No opportunities from the Doom Pool. Oh, wait, you're rolling against them, aren't you?
What?
Oh, wait. Yeah. I was rolling the Doom Pool, but you need to be rolling against the actual crowd.
Yeah.
So they have a 5d6. They are irrational. D8. Roll it. No opportunities. I have an 11 and a D8.
Okay. Fantastic.
So, I'm going to say that the mob comes in with a D8 die mutant scum complication. And you can target them, and your successes can step down. Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. That wouldn't make sense. So your success, you succeeded, right? You had a
Right.
15. Yeah. So you succeed, and basically, your success means that some of the people in the crowd are like, "Oh yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe we should just head off." And some of them kind of lose steam and lower their die mutant scum signs and kind of fall back into the rest of the crowd. So go ahead and reduce one of these D6s. So this would be you basically inflicting emotional stress. So you're making them question what they're believing in and what they're doing here, and so you stepped it up above a D6, and so they kind of dissipate a little. Okay.
Yeah.
That is Scarlet Witch's turn.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Who do you want to pass it to?
Let's go with Black Panther.
Okay.
It's my turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, while they're dissipating, I'm going to use team strategist and enhanced speed and covert mastery to just like sneak them out. Everyone's kind of calmed down. We might as well leave. We can't really do anything here.
Okay.
That's unreasonable?
Yeah.
So it's covert, which is 10. Speed, which is 8. Team, which is 8. Not good rolls. These are all bad rolls. Okay. So I got. You can't see that at all. Can you?
No, I can't see that at all.
Okay. It's 1d8 is 3, 1d8 is 5, 1d8 is 6, and 1d10 is 2.
Okay.
So I'll go 11 and 1d8.
11 and 1d8.
Oh, I could use a 1d10 too, huh? Yeah, I'll use 11 and 1d10.
Okay, 11 and 1d10. Alright. The crowd is going to oppose you, basically using the same pool that they used against Scarlet Witch, but step down because some of them have lost confidence. Okay, it's a bit better roll. A 13 and a d6. And what was yours?
It was 11 and a d10.
Okay. So their total beats yours. If you have a plot point, you can use it to add a remaining number from one of the dice that you rolled into your total.
Okay, well, I have one plot point, but it only gives me 3. And they rolled what?
They rolled a 13.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Go ahead and use that plot point. You succeed, and your effect die was a d10. So you effectively step down. You say, yeah, what she said, don't need to clear out. Some of you like, oh, he's the king of Wakanda. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Some more of them start to trickle off. All right. And then, who will you pass it to next, Havoc or the mob?
And you said if I were to give it to the mob, would it go to Scarlet Witch next, and then me, and then Havoc again? How does the order go?
If you pass it to the mob would get to pick who goes next, and it would have to be Havoc because he's the only one who hasn't gone this turn.
Okay.
So Havoc would be the last person this turn if you decide to go mob Havoc, and then Havoc would get to choose who goes first next turn.
Okay. Well, I'll have Havoc go.
Okay? Havoc. Your turn.
All right. He's going to kind of just reiterate, what everybody said so far, and if I bring up the videotape, would that be an asset? That there's videotape evidence that there might have been a bomb strapped to the person who came in here, that it wasn't necessarily a mutant?
You could, yeah, I would say you could reveal a stunt. So you could say that you decided to take some of this for later, and you could say, I reveal this now, something I did later, did earlier. You spend a plot point, reveal that stunt, and treat it as a a stunt. So do you want to do that?
No, because I don't want to risk all my plot points.
Okay.
Not yet. In other words, it's just going to be rolling a d10 for team, and I'm using Natural Born Leader to try to sway the mob that it is not, none of us here want to fight, and that if they can be peaceful, they can stay, but if they want to be violent, they need to leave.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 14 total with a default 4 for the effect.
14 total with the D4 effect.
Yep.
All right. Gosh. Oh, I don't even know if this is showing up on the capture, but chat is getting ridiculous. All right. I rolled an opportunity.
You just freeze? No.
Can we add Master Crooner?
I have an 11 total and a D6 effect with 1 opportunity.
All right, what was that one more time, David?
11 total and a D6 effect with 1 opportunity.
Okay, I am not going to activate the opportunity.
Okay. So you succeed because it was a 14, correct?
It was a 14 for my total, yes.
Okay. And what was your effect die?
D4 is what it was defaulted to,
Okay.
as I had no more dice to pull.
Okay. So you deal a D4 stress to them, and that steps down their mob die to a D4. But so you kind of reiterate what they've been saying, but not enough to actually make them do anything.
And by default, it goes to the mob next.
Yeah. So the mob goes next. They're going to turn on Havoc because he was the one who is least convincing. He obviously seems the least experienced with talking with the crowd. So they're going to try to poke at him and use him to further their propaganda and agenda. So,
Hey, I don't appreciate the M word.
hey, they are 2d6, 1d4, and they're going to use a d8 for Muty Scum distinction. No opportunities. They have a 10 and a d8. So they're going to come at you and say, listen, who are you to talk to us about being calm or diffusing situations? Your brother enslaved the world. How do we know that you're any different from him? How do we know that any mutants are different from the Phoenix Five? And Havoc, you retort.
So this is my reaction, correct?
Yes, this is your reaction. I was waiting.
This
is my reaction.
I was just trying to figure it out. Well, crap, it's just going to be the same two. It's going to be a team. Look, we fought with humans against the Phoenix Five. We have nothing to do. We want peace between our people. And I'm still going to go with the team, but distinction's going to be something to prove.
Okay.
And I'm staying away from my powers, and none of my specialties come into play.
Okay.
Crap-tastic. I rolled an opportunity.
Okay. Well,
My result is a 4,
okay.
and my effect die is a D4.
Listen, boys.
We got 4 and 4 today.
And then I just start sparking uncontrollably.
Okay. Well, you're sitting pretty healthily at 3 pp, so I'm not going to give you another plot point.
Actually, I'm down to 2. I spent one earlier.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I spent one to add a 3rd die to my result earlier.
Okay. That's right. Okay, well, I'm not going to give you any more plot points. So they turn on you and
You just
start.
don't want to build the Doom pool.
Hey, you're sitting pretty healthily right now, and the act isn't over yet.
It's pretty hefty, yeah.
So they're going to turn on you. They're going to start accusing you. They are going to question you because of your affiliation with your brother Cyclops. So you now have 2 experience. And
Well, is this a new scene or?
yes, this is an action scene. Before it was a transition.
Okay. I was just checking because I had already received an experience.
Yeah. You are going to take a D8 emotional stress. Oh wait, you rolled a 4? So
Yeah,
they
my
had
total
an
was a
exceptional
4.
success. And
So I got a
exceptional
D10.
success. So you take a D10 emotional stress.
Oh.
Stop yelling!
All right, now it's the mob's turn. Or their turn to choose.
So the mob is going to turn on you, get up in your face, and you're obviously getting stressed out from all this arguing. And then all of a sudden, you hear the sound of a D6 from the Doom die being spent, and you also hear a gunshot. You see one of the protesters fall to the ground, and you see a police who is obviously a rookie, and a little backstory into his brain. He just found out that he himself is a mutant, and he is dealing with the justifications of that. So he shoots the person. He yells, "Not all mutants are bad!"
Oh, God.
The anti-mutants have everything that they need to attack.
And of course, right when cops are being shot because they're shooting people.
Oh, so topical.
Yeah,
too soon, Greg. We're playing a game.
It's too real. It's too real.
This is a PC game.
Where am I at?
Art imitating life. It's too much.
Yeah. I come here to get out of life.
So the mob, since one of them was shot, they're going to pick up their signs, try to use them as weapons, and they're going to attack Scarlet Witch, Havoc, and Black Panther all at one time. So they're doing an area attack, so I get to add 2d6 for the 2 additional targets. Hey, 3 opportunities. 1 for each of you. Anyone want to take those?
I am not activating it.
Oh well.
All right. Oh,
So
you don't even.
we're fighting.
You don't actually have any plot points left.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, right.
I'll take it.
Okay. Go ahead and spend your last plot point. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know.
So you can spend that plot point and basically give yourself a push dice, which is the basic use. It's like I just get a d6 because I messed up.
Yeah.
So do you want to do that? You would get a d6 in your reaction die.
Like instead of getting whatever else I
Well,
would have as my
you-
reaction.
You would just get a d6 to add to your dice.
You would add an extra d6 to your die.
Oh, okay.
You want to do that?
actually been rolling really well,
Okay.
so I don't think so. No, that actually, this would probably be a really good time to use that. I have to think about what I'm going to do so that I don't destroy everyone.
Kill them all.
Well, just remember that you and I step up or do opportunities because we roll 1 and 2 for using our power sets.
Right.
And you're the only one who can step those back.
So, because I have mystic senses, would I be able to tell that the guy who shot into the crowd is also a mutant?
Yeah. I'll say you can see the forces of the cosmos are kind of converging on this person, and you can tell that he is inexplicably intertwined into the destiny, and you're like, oh, he must be a mutant.
Okay, so when he shot to the crowd, did he kill someone?
Yeah.
Or did he just... Oh, he did. Okay. Fantastic, kid.
We should save that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm gonna go get him.
Okay.
And get him out of harm's way.
Okay, so you're going to use your opportunity to save the police officer.
Yes.
Okay. I will say that's how you use your opportunity. So in your reaction, you can also fly over to him, grab him, and pull him to safety. So for their roll against you, they rolled a 14 total, and a D6 against Havoc, a D6 against Scarlet Witch, and a D4 against Black Panther. So since I said Havoc first, Havoc, go ahead and roll your reaction.
Okay, I'm still using the team setting.
Okay.
What are the scene distinctions now that they've turned ugly? Is it still overcrowded?
Yeah, it's still the same.
I'm going to use overcrowded positively because they can't necessarily just hit me. There's going to be other people in the way from hitting me.
Okay.
And I am going to use my combat expert because I've been in these situations before.
Okay, good.
Multiple man training room.
Yeah. You've been in the danger room before.
I have a 15 result and a D8 effect.
Okay. So your total is better than theirs. So you managed to jump out of the way as one of them stabs at you with the end of their sign, their picket sign. All right. And I said Scarlet Witch next. So Scarlet Witch,
Okay.
you're
So
using
I'm
the
going to...
opportunity to also save the young police officer in your reaction.
Right. So I can only use one thing for power sense, right?
Unless you have multi-power, yeah.
And I
And
don't.
you do not.
No. Okay. So it would be team. I assume no. Would it be solo for me to go fly over there and get him?
No, you can still be operating as a team.
Okay. How close is he to me? Would I need to fly over there to him, or?
You would probably have to fly over to him to just get over the people in between you and him because it is crowded.
So I'm going to do that and powerfully and predictable, as per usual. And flight, and I guess mystic expert because I can tell he's a mutant.
Mystic expert wouldn't really come into it because you're not really casting a spell. Your mystic senses tipped you off to the fact that he's a mutant, but it won't really assist you in grabbing him and getting him away from danger.
Okay. So then would I do combat expert then?
You could. Maybe dodging out of the way of people to get to him.
Right. And then is this when I roll my extra d6?
Yeah.
Okay. 14 and a D8.
Okay. A 14 and a D8. So ties always go to the heroes.
Okay.
So you avoid their attack, and you push the police officer out of the way as well. Black Panther, how will you avoid their attack?
Yes. I'm going to use solo superhuman reflexes.
I think you would be team, right?
Team? Are we teaming it up? So it's team.
If you
Well,
want,
it's whatever you want it to be.
It's
well,
basically,
y'all are on your
I'm
own.
being attacked on my own, right? We're not really working together. We're all being attacked independently.
I guess it's true.
I'm better alone. So solo. Superhuman reflexes. And combat master.
Yeah.
It's 10. No, 10. Yeah. It's not very good. So it's 7 and a D10.
Okay, 7 and a D10. So you don't dodge their attack as you're maybe trying to jump over them since you're so focused on being solo. Maybe you jump, frog leap after somebody, bump into Scarlet Witch, and you turn around and you get nicked by a sign as it's coming down. And usually, since you rolled a D10 for your effect die, it would step down their effect die, but it's a D4, so it doesn't step down any more than that. So you take a
Okay.
D4 physical stress. So not much, but it stings.
Okay. I got a 1.
You rolled a 1?
Or, yeah.
Okay. I'll let it pass for now. I will pass it to the mob will pass it to Havoc.
Okay, Havoc. I got a question. Can we know how many mob dice are rolling? 'Cause I'm contemplating doing an area effect.
It's 2d6 and 1d4, so 3.
So 3.
Yeah.
I am going to call out to Scarlet Witch. Scarlet, we need to find some way to bind these people so they don't cause harm to others or to us. And then to Black Panther, Panther, we have to work together to contain these people.
We're gonna be like, be a team player.
And I'm doubting my abilities as a leader, seeing as I told Scarlet Witch to shore up the building and she brought it down. So I'm using natural born leader reluctantly.
Okay.
And I am going to use my plasma blast as an area effect to strike the ground near these people, these groups of the mob, to cause mental stress, so that way, that hoping they'll disperse because of it.
Okay, so you're
Not
just trying
actually
to scare them
trying to
away
hurt
with
these
your...
people.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so that's going to be a D10 for team, because I'm still trying to use the team. Using natural born leader negatively, because I'm doubting my abilities. D10 for plasma blast, 3d6 for the area effect, and a D8 for combat expert. I rolled 2 opportunities.
Okay.
If you wish to use those.
Mhm.
My total is a 16 with effect dies of a D10, a D8, and a D4.
Someone was bothering me.
It's my face, bro.
Okay. So what did you say? You said I was being distracted. What'd you say? What was your effect?
Total of 16
Okay.
with effect dies of a 10, an 8, and a 4.
So 16. 16 at 8. A 6 and 4?
It's going to be a 10, 8, and 4.
Okay, 10, 8, 4. 10, 8, 4. Okay. They are going to use the overcrowded distinction against you because even though you're shooting off into the air, you might hit one of the other people, and that would serve their purpose. Also, I'm going to use a D8 for their swarm because there's a lot of them, and there is strength in numbers. Let's see. Oh, there's a 1. 1 opportunity. My effect die is, or what I rolled is, a 12 and a D8. And what was yours?
Mine is a 16, a D10, a D8, and a D4.
Okay, so let me... So I failed on all accounts. And so you deal emotional stress worth a D8 to this person, a D10 to this person, and a D4 to that person, effectively removing them off from combat. So they come at you, and you basically let off this huge blast of energy and say, "Listen, just back off!" Back off they do. They drop their signs and start running. And so you scare them off. So just as they are running off, Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel appear. They show up. They see all these people running away. They don't really know what's going on. And before you have time to talk about what is happening or what happened at the embassy or what happened at Plains, Texas, the ground beneath you starts to shake. And then the ground beneath the embassy explodes, and a tower is forced out of the rubble. This huge cybernetic thing of mismatched metal and exposed wires comes out of the ground and towers above you all. And then out of the hole crawls all these creepy, bug-eyed creatures in loincloths. You know them to be moloids from the underworld. And behind them comes their leader, Mole Man, cackling madly and ah! And out of the sky hovers someone who looks shockingly a lot like Thor from the 70s, sporting a hammer and a lot of muscle. And then the guy next to him hovers down, and his eyes are glowing. He has a white streak in his hair, and he has an X branded on his chest. These three men are X-Man, Ragnarok, or Thor clone, Mole Man, and his Moloids. And X-Man looks at you and says, "Your days are over." smash cut to the credits.
Cool.
All right. So that was the end of our first session. It was a little slow going tonight because we were learning the rules and we started a little late, but next time we're going to get into it. We're going to find out what X-Man and his cronies are doing and what that tower is and just what the Council of Four is all about. So, those are the
Dun, dun.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
When are we playing again?